Hello and welcome to this short video. Over the next few moments, we'll show you how to configure and run the Emergency Contacts application. So to get started, from my portal homepage, I'm going to navigate to the portal menu and select the App Store. From the App Store, I'll select the category for COVID-19 and select the Emergency Contacts application. As you can see here, I have a short synopsis about the application, and I can see the forms that this application will use. To add and deploy this application to my tenant, I'll click the Add button and trust it. So now that we've deployed the app to our tenant, let's take a look behind the scenes before we run it. So we'll start first with the data. So let's click the button for data entities. You'll see here I have an entity for emergency contacts. And the data model here is pretty straightforward. We have all of the relevant contact details for our emergency contacts, their email address, name, phone number, region, and role. Okay, so let's take a look at the application itself. Okay, so when I select the application, you'll see here that we have a few forms. We have the ability to add new emergency contacts or update their contact details. We can manage emergency contacts. And then we also have a view for all of your employees to view the contacts for their region if they need help. Now, before we begin using this application, we will want to restrict access to some of these forms. Now, I realize that some of you may be using AgilePoint for the first time and may not have application permissions enabled. So to do this, I would navigate over to the Settings module. From within Settings, on the left-hand side, you'll see an orange gear for Tenant Settings. And then you'll want to scroll down to the section for Application Permissions. Ensure that this is toggled over to Yes, and then click Save. So let's go back to Build Apps. We have the application selected here from the menu, and then we'll want to click the Permissions icon. Now, as we discussed, the important thing here is to restrict the ability to add new emergency contacts and manage existing contacts. So what we'll do here, we're going to navigate over to the Initiators tab. And I'm going to select the icon for Manage Emergency Contacts. Now what I'll want to do here is unselect this checkbox, which gives access to all users, and then selectively give access to either a group or a user. Now in my case, I have a group set up for contact administrators. So I'll click Add, and then Update. Now for your usage, I would recommend we go through the same process for the new and update emergency contact forms. Right, but otherwise, we are now ready to go. So to run this application, let's go back to our home page, and we'll click the tile for emergency contacts. Now as you can see here, this is the employee view, and I don't yet have any contacts added. So what I'll want to do next is access this from the perspective of a news administrator. So I would go back to my work center, click on the list of applications that I have permission to, and then bring up the emergency contact application. Now what I'll do here is just add a couple of emergency contacts. Now you see here that I manually entered the user's name. I could also select them here via the People Picker function. I'll enter their email address. their phone number, and their location. So let's add one more record here. We'll add my manager, which is nice. As you can see here, the data has been pre-populated based on their user profile. And then click Submit. So now that we've entered 2 emergency contacts here, we can go back to the end user view and refresh the page. Now, as you can see here, right, we now have our emergency contacts nicely formatted, right, and in a manner that they are easily accessible should one of your employees be facing an emergency. That concludes the content for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.